instead of capitalism, I'm going to focus on fossil fuel companies. And I'll worry about capitalism later. I'm thinking like,
well, but in terms of our issue, she can focus on. I mean, I agree with you. But in terms
since the mid-1990s, and I'd like to talk for a minute about the kinds of things that I've been talking about. And these are notes that I've taken and written years and years ago for classes that I've been teaching for 20 plus years. And I talk to my students about what does it mean to be fascist? What exactly is fascism? And I try to explain to them a nexus of ideas that they want to see. So what are some of the ideas they want to see with fascism? One, they want to see how fascists glorify a mythic past while blaming all problems on a demonized scapegoat community. Two, I talk about the Lügenpresse, the lying press mantra, which was a Nazi way of neutralizing the free press. Three, I talk about the valuation of violence as a positive good, what the scholar Robert Paxton called the beauty of violence. Four, I talk about the hope of leadership, that a male Superman is the singular hope for the nation and the restoration for traditional values, especially about racial and gender hierarchies. Five, I talk about the natural superior race being put down, victimized, forced to apologize for itself. I talk about Gleichschaltung, a German word which means the meticulous, years-long process of replacing bureaucrats, especially judges and other members of the justice system, into people who are lackeys of the party and its leader. I talk about how fascists view the world as a pseudo-Darwinian struggle of winners and losers. I talk about the attacks against homosexuality, against gender sex research, and against sexual deviance, about the tendency of fascists to ally with other authoritarians and other dictators and against liberal democracies. I talk about how fascists use paramilitary violence to destabilize their country and to threaten their political enemies, and how they work very often with the police in that action. And finally, I talk about how fascists always come to power having only a large minority of support, but put over the top by so-called traditional conservative elites who prefer the fascists to the progressives. This happens time and time again. And if you read, for example, William Sheridan Allen's classic micro-study of the town of Nordheim, how does this town fall to Nazism? And he writes the following, quote, "What was needed in Nordheim to stop the Nazis was a political coalition of the decent people who, regardless of party, failed to recognize that whatever it promised, Nazism was an indecent thing. That such a coalition never developed was the main reason Nazis started the power. The following about the surge of Nazi popularity in the mid-1930s that segued to the Holocaust to the 1940s, which was not inevitable. It was not preordained, but by that time, it was too late to do much about it. Now, I am Jewish, and I was raised very Jewish. And I was raised with the mantra of never again, that we must teach the Holocaust in order to prevent such atrocities in the future, to study how these catastrophes occurred, to help us see the warning signs and avert the repetition. That's why I became an historian. Never again is not a confident statement of self-evident fact. It's a moral call to act swiftly the moment we see the process begin again, targeting any vulnerable group. The call to prevent the next atrocity cannot wait until we've reached the final abyss. And let me be clear about something.
That's right.
I wrote an article for Slate last week or 2 weeks ago, which I was very proud of, but the headline was somewhat misleading because it talked about a tipping point. And the truth is, there is no tipping point per se. There is no point where it's too late. It's just a question of the struggle getting harder, of more people dying and being hurt, of the damage on our country and our bodies taking a lesser or a greater toll. The time to act is always right now.
Right.
Thank you.
Very well. Thank you.
Is it from another country?
Huh?
Where is it from?
It's from America. I'm American.
Okay. 'Cause,
Why you questioning my what's real?
You know what? We can't do that.
I know, but she came up to me.
You won't even say where you're from.
What do you mean I don't say where I'm from? What are you blind? What the hell does it say right there? I talked to everybody already. Don't start no shit with me, lady. Come on, stop fucking around. There's some serious shit here. Don't fuck around.
Told Bob Woodward that the coronavirus was deadly, and yet he lied to the American people. He suppressed the science, and real people died, and real families and communities suffered. Cassandra Greer.
Right.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Cassandra Greer. I am the wife of Woodward. I am here because I know a lot of people just look at the numbers.